Dave Arnold, your host of Cooking Issues, coming to you live from the heart of Manhattan, Rockefeller Center, New York City, Newsstand Studios. Joined as usual with John behind me. How you doing, John?
Doing great, thanks.
Yeah, I got Joe Hazen rocking the panels. How you doing, Joe?
I was running 1K tone there. I'm sorry.
That was 1K? That's what it was?
That was 1K.
You know what it sounded like? It sounded like in The Shining, whenever people get stabbed in The Shining and Danny, and it's like, like that.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
It's a great movie, though, The Shining. And we got a full house today, right? We got in the West Coast, we got some Jackie Molecules. How you doing?
Yo, I'm good.
Yeah? We got Nastasia the Hammer Lopez. How you doing?
I'm good.
You haven't hammered anyone in a long time that you can talk about on air. You're keeping all of your murders secret nowadays.
I guess so.
You know what I mean? Speaking of murder, I know we're not supposed to talk about rock stars too much. We'll talk about them more later, though, unfortunately. But you hear that one of the people from Mr. Bungle murdered his girlfriend and got convicted. How crazy is that?
Whoa.
Yeah, unrelated.
Yeah,
Anyway, what?
Say who it was.
Who? Mr. Bungle? It wasn't Mike Patton. It was like the saxophonist.
No,
it was a saxophonist. Yeah. So my cousin James was like, barely a member of the band. Saxophonist is that basically means murderer, right? So our friend Pat, we're gonna send him that text and be like, saxophone equals murder. At least in a rock song, saxophone equals murder, maybe. Although I happen to like rock sax. You guys, rock sax? Anyone?
Not so much.
No. What about funk sax?
Better.
Yeah.
I don't really like the sax.
What about like a freaking Barry or an alto sax?
You have to hear it. Jack has to hear it every single day across the street from
No,
Pat.
but he hears that that ridiculous gigantophone that sounds like a dying elephant, right? It's like the biggest saxophone on earth.
Two-backs.
Yeah, two backs. Two backs. We got to get a jingle recorded with the two backs. If Pat will do that for us. And in the upper left, holding it down on Vancouver Island, Quinn, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Which you still haven't hooked the big fish of Vancouver Island. You haven't gotten the Pamela Anderson.
No, I guess I got to start working on that again.
Yeah. I mean, she could be live in your studio. Think about it.
She could.
Yeah. Anyway, and today's special guest in the studio from Shipwright's Daughter in Mystic, Connecticut, Chef David Standridge. First time on the show. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah? I love Mystic. For those of you that don't know, my in-laws are in Mystic, so I've been going to Mystic now for, I don't know, like 20, well, actually longer than that, probably 30-something years, because my wife's aunt and uncle are from there from forever, so I've been going, love Mystic.
Cool. That was back when John's was there.
Dude, Mystic used to be like Mystic Pizza, which, by the way, whatever. I'm not gonna say.
Sucks.
Yeah, like people still so Mystic. So the way Mystic works is it's not a one street town, but there is the one street that everything's on.
Yep.
Right. And there's this bridge on it, and the bridge just randomly. It's the Mystic. Get this, bascule. No one knows what the hell a bascule is, right? It's the Mystic Bascule Bridge. Do you know what a bascule is?
I thought it was a type of bridge, like the counter.
You ever seen a different bascule bridge?
No.
Just the Mystic Bascule
There's more
bridge.
of them, though.
Yeah. Anyway, it causes a giant traffic jam. But just up the hill towards the church where I got married is Mystic Pizza that was used in the Julia Roberts movie. And still to this day, umpteen billion years later, there's always someone get my picture in front of Mystic Pizza, right?
Always. That's people still associate Mystic with Mystic Pizza. It's really frustrating.
Which is crazy, right? And a lot of the old school businesses in Mystic are gone. The overpriced surplus store is still there.
It is.
Yeah.
That'll never go away.
No, it's surly in there. When you go in there with a kid, don't touch anything, kids. You know what I mean?
Totally.
But it's the funny thing about Mystic is even though Mystic is a fancy place, it's got a working class military, seagoing Coast Guard kind of,
definitely
underpinning of the people who are actually there. You know what I mean?
For years, so much it was blue collar and very working class, and it was not fancy ever.
Yeah,
There
right.
was rich people lived on the hill, but Mystic was a little bit,
yeah,
down to earth.
Yeah, and there's two Mystics depending on whether you're. Anyway, but but you know what I'm saying? And I like towns like that. Like the fancy weasels come in.
Yep.
They take their pictures, they get out, and then the people that are there are there.
Absolutely.
You know
We're one
what I
of the people who are there.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, what do we got going food wise? Now, John, we missed 2 weeks ago. We
Way to
didn't
go.
talk about it,
Yep.
and it's fun because now we got 2 working chefs on the show can talk about it. John just did a relaunch. I went to his friends and family now 3 weeks ago. I forgot to talk about it the first week. Second week we had to cancel last week. So how's it going?
It's been going well. Yeah, we sold a lot of food on Saturday. I think the record food sales since we've been open, which was really good. And yeah, people seem to be receptive to it. But it is, like I was telling David before you got on, it's been hard to get our regulars to think of Temperance as a place for dinner rather than a place for snacks, which is what we've been for the last 3 years. So I think, slowly changing that, but otherwise it's going well.
So do you have a special menu that says, you're not a regular anymore, it's a new place?
No. We don't do that.
It's always hard to change your format, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's hard to get the staff to kind of change their mentalities about that kind of stuff as well. But it's been an interesting challenge and something that I'm not that I wasn't excited about what I was doing at the when it was a wine bar, but now it's a lot more personal. It's things that not that I didn't stand behind the food I did it when it was wine bar, but now it's just it's a lot more personal. Everything's kind of an ode to my dad, so it's something I'm taking a lot more pride in and just a lot more invested in. It's been a lot more fun.
Sounds like you're not standing behind the food you did before.
Sure.
That's like the time we went. Nastasi and I went to Qua in California the second time, and Patterson goes to us. He goes, "How was the food?" Yeah, it was great. He's like, "What about the first time?" "Also great." "I'm so much better now." "You're an idiot." We're like, dude, chill, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Remember that, Stas?
Yeah.
Well, weird. So speaking of not breaking with the past, for those of you that I don't know, that's the first time you're listening to the show. John, when he's saying his dad Belgian, John, the only Flemish Belgian dude that only speaks French, right?
Yep.
Yeah, kind of weak.
Yep. Admittedly.
Yeah. Your dad could speak though, right?
Yes, he could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Family, fought the Germans during the war, the whole 9, both wars, in fact, right?
Yep.
And so he's switched to a more Belgique menu, but how do you say Belgian in Flemish? God, you don't even know how to say Belgium.
It's Belgie, but I don't know how to pronounce it properly. I know how to spell it. Yeah.
Wow. An embarrassment to his family. Nice.
Yeah.
You know
and
what?
other Belgians, yeah.
Say what you like about John. He likes to take on the language of the oppressor at any time.
I hate you.
So one of the things I go in there, I'm like, oh, because he got the fries. Fries are always good, but he still has the small gauge.
Yeah.
Go bigger gauge on the fries, Micah. Use the bigger gauge, you cowards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Literally, they ply me with so much wine. I'm at friends and family. I'm eating it. Everything's delicious. My only comment, Jen, my wife, was there with me. She's writing a lot of thoughtful comments, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, use the bigger fries. That was my only comment on the whole thing. Anyway, you know what I didn't have that because I can only eat so much, and we were a 2-top. I didn't have the steak au poivre with the green peppercorn. Green.
Yep. Next time.
Good, huh?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Proud of that one. Yeah. Just come back some other time.
Any surprises that you didn't think would be hits that are, or vice versa?
The leek, I don't know. I have a leeks dish. It's one of those like more conceptual kind of things, but I still think it's I don't know. It's based on like the dish asperge à la flamande, so the white asparagus with the clarified butter, chopped hard boiled egg, lemon, and parsley. I sort of rethought it with as a cold dish with a lemon vinaigrette, cold poached leeks, chopped almonds, cured egg yolk, and then fried parsley on top. And I like it, but it's definitely been one of those more hit or miss things.
Well, what's the name of the dish? Maybe that's the problem. I forget.
Leeks à la flamande.
Yeah, I don't know. People. I don't know.
I don't know. Like I think selling people on the cold on the leeks dish period, but then also like a cold one is
also like imagine if I just said like what do you get? Onions. Like no one's like oh, a leek, and then if they don't know what a leek is, they look it up. They're like, oh, it's like an onion, and then they're like, onions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Did you see the new Dan Barber garlic?
I heard about it. Yeah,
no, hook me up.
Big deal.
Oh, I have garlic.
Heavily
here.
promoting that.
No, I believe that. Tell me about it. All right, Quinn, someone tell me about the garlic.
I just harvested my crop 2 days ago.
Okay, What the hell is it?
It's like I would say it looks like a big scallion but the top is like flat and sort of a bit more papery in texture.
The top, wait, what do you mean the top? The root end or the other? What are you, flat?
The greens.
Okay.
But it's supposed to be essentially flavor-wise a cross between garlic and leek. But the entire plant is edible. Like the green tops don't get like super fibery.
I mean, like no matter how long you let it go?
Apparently, again,
That's something, what's the word I'm looking for? Don't believe. Yeah.
Well, again, they don't get as big as regular leeks.
Okay. You know how like some onion grass is poisonous? I used to go eat that crap anyway. Like apparently some onion grass is poisonous, but I used to rip onion grass up, sniff it, and then like chew on that stuff.
Wild carrots also, those things.
Oh, those will kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to eat those when I was a kid.
Yeah. It says a lot about us as a general style of people.
It's a generation of foragers.
So how was your first batch of garlic?
Well, we definitely needed to grow more because we had the entire harvest. We got a lot of greens, and we're dehydrating those to make like a powder. But like all of like the bottom white part was one batch of soup.
All right. Let's say it's a cross between a leek and a garlic. You know what I can add to a soup?
Yeah.
Yeah. Leeks and also garlic.
But, I mean, it was good soup.
Because you know what doesn't taste like either of those things? A shallot. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if something's only thing is it tastes like two incredibly readily available things, and we're going to put it in an inherent melange situation like a soup, then does it need to exist?
Well, I also think part of the thing is that, again, it is that sort of leaky flavor, but because it's a bit smaller and a bit more tender, again, it's that, whole utilization thing.
Right, but this sounds like something you want briefly sautéed and served as a side so that you can enjoy its...
Potentially.
Well, I mean, in other words, like, if I'm paying $1 billion or having to grow something myself, right, and its only thing is that it tastes like these two readily available, easily cooked items, that I would want to serve it as its own Megillah on its own to highlight its thingness.
It's specialness.
Yes. That's a good way to put it. For those of you that can't see us, because you can't unless you're on the Patreon, David is David from Shipwright's Daughter, and Dave is me from here. Yeah. Anyway, but you liked it, so you're gonna make some. Why don't you just have some? Just saute some up. What do you think? Oil or butter?
Well, again, we used all the white part for the soup.
You harvested every last one. You left nothing.
Yeah.
Oh my
There was
God.
time. They were getting, it's getting cold up here.
You didn't saute even one to see what the texture was like on its own. Quinn. Call up
Again,
Danny Boy Barber. Call up Danny Boy Barber. He'll ship you some, maybe.
Baldor has it.
Yeah?
Do they?
Oh, yeah. It's out there.
Dan Barber boy. All right. I've never tried it. Have you tried it, David?
No.
No.
Because I think it's just garlic and leeks.
It's got a good name. What movie? Is it like a Zoolander thing? Sounds like, one of his looks sounds like garlic.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like Blue Steel and the other one. Yeah, I can't remember.
There was a little commercial for garlic, though, that Dan Barber had on his Instagram. That was
my God,
hilarious. With
really?
his daughter. And basically his daughter was saying that she would rather have garlic than ice cream.
That's a weird kid. Or lactose intolerant.
Could be. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
That was great.
Like, she's incredibly lactose intolerant. She's like, you know what I would rather have? Garlic, because the other one rips up my insides. You know what I mean? In fact, I'd rather take a hammer to the toe than ice cream because it just tears me up.
It sounds like a Portlandia sketch or something.
Yeah. All right. Nice. So what else we got going on food wise? Anything else in the past week food wise? I'm going to force someone to tell a food story. Nastasia the Hammer Lopez. Nastasia the Hammer Lopez for an unnamed location that is run as like basically an in-house catering thing, right? So I believe it's union. I don't know, but like I know that they're all about like raking money in, no matter who they're going to rake money in, from the talent, from the guests, from whomever. They're just going to rake. They're a big money rake, and Nastasia was tasked on getting some decent food up in that piece. And what happened, Stas?
I showed you the invoice that the artist was being charged, and I was like, "This doesn't seem right." And I was supposed to negotiate the prices. And so for trail mix, it was like $6 a head.
And what was said trail mix?
It was those Good and Gather plastic containers.
Really? For real? In Los Angeles, a venue went to Target and bought Good and Gather trail mix. I don't even think that's the best of the supermarket trail mixes.
I mean, Trader Joe's is better for snacks.
Yeah, for sure they are. Yeah. I mean, when they're good. Yeah. Trader Joe's is like hit or miss. Trader Joe's is like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to experiment on you. See whether you like this. If you like it, you buy it. If not, you know what I mean? They're the Moto restaurant of snack mix. Like some of this stuff, they're going to try it on you. You're their experiment. It sells or it doesn't. But when they hit really well. I think the Trader Joe's. No.
I never go.
No, never? No. Do they have one up there in Mystic?
There's one somewhere. I don't even. I have kids.
It's literally across the street from me.
I buy in bulk.
Really? You're a Costco guy.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Costco doesn't have it. I don't need it.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Honestly, in my whole life.
Yeah. You should go to like coastal Alaska, where like everyone just goes to the one Costco and then resells it to everyone else.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Great business plan.
Yeah. You go to like whatever they call a bodega in Juneau, and it's all Kirkland products. They're making their little slice on the slice. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Speaking of slice on the slice, we have a unit of Spinzalls right now for sale in Modernist Pantry's warehouse. So you can go buy your Spinzall 2.0s. And I'm just going to say this, depending on how it goes in a couple of weeks, if the this might be the last batch. If the tariffs go up to 60%, it means that the units will cost, get this, folks, you ready for it? You ready for it? If that happens, they're going to cost $600 more a piece. All right? $600 more a piece, which means we're probably going to go out of business or just sell entirely to foreigners because we just won't be able to afford to bring them in anymore. So now's a good time, right, Stas? Yeah. You know what? It's a hilarious thought. The idea that if there's a 60% tariff on Spinzalls being brought in from China, that Nastasia and I are just going to be like, you know what? Let's make this in the United States. Yeah, I never thought of that. I never thought of trying to make it in the... Oh, idiots! There's no way we can make that in the United States for any reasonable amount of money. The tooling alone would cost us $1 million. What?
How much would it cost to the customer if we made them here?
Well, okay. So like we would probably, even though it's already made, right? Even though it's already an existing product, we would have to go through certification again in the U.S. That's probably 50 grand, which is nothing. It's probably $1 million in tooling. The issue is that because we're only going to make between 2,000 and 3,000 of them a year for the foreseeable forever, right? Everyone's just going to laugh at us. So it's going to have to be built fundamentally by hand. And the United States can only really win when you either own the factories, like Vitamix owns their factories, so they can make stuff here in the United States, right? Or when you're making something in a large enough quantity that can be fully automated, right? Or it's such a big ticket item that you can fold the inherent cost of doing business into the vehicle, into the thing like cars, right? So it's like, this is why nothing that you buy, that is an electrico-domestico thing that you have in your kitchen is made here, because how are you going to do that? I have a flour mill, right? So the flour mills that I normally, recommend to people are very expensive already. They're $400. They're made in Germany, but they're always out of stock. And I think they're probably losing money because they're only selling it for like a minimal charge over what it probably costs them to make it. That's Como or Mock Mill, right? The ones that are made in the United States, like the Royal Lee Organics, I think is like $1,200. And the Retzel, right, which I also have a used one of, is like like I think like $1,200 or $1,300, something like that, maybe $800. But and it's got big old industrial motor on it. It's a good unit, but it's like no one wants to pay that much when they could buy. And their customer service is apparently rancid, but like no one wants to buy from them because they have to make them to order because they don't have the money to make them in bulk because who does, right? And so making them to order, people have to wait 6 weeks, they have to put their money down. It's a nightmare, right? So we can't do it. It can't be done. Right? We would have to charge probably $3,000 a unit. At that point, go buy a freaking, 4-liter, bench top. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's absurd. It's a joke. Anyway. Just, that's all I'm saying. Just get it now because you never know. You never know. And if you're rich enough, right? If you're a big enough business and you're rich enough, then you have friends in government, and they're like, literally, if you look at the HTS, the Harmonized Trade Schedule, or whatever it is, HTC, Harmonized Trade Code, whatever it is. What is it? It's S or C, Stas? I don't know. What? Anyway, if you look at it, there's these bizarre carve-outs. They're like, if you make a vehicle with 3 wheels where one is on a pivot that's basically they have a carve-out that it's like one company. I'm like, when you actually look at it, you're like, oh, that company doesn't have to pay a tariff. It's a scam.
It's somebody's buddy.
Yeah, it's somebody's buddy.
Totally.
All right, well then, nobody can hear my rant over what it's like being a small business in this country because it sucks. It's not just restaurants that suck as a small business. It's any small business sucks here, right?
Yeah. I mean, I can only speak for restaurants.
All right. Also, this Sunday, I think I'm going to be. So I'm a member of a local garden here, Mfunda Kalunga. It's between Christie and Forsyth, between Delancey and whatever the next street is up Rivington. I'll be there for Halloween. Come check out a community garden in New York I think I'm going to be there between noon and 3. I don't know if I'm going to have candy because all my full-size candy bars are for my own house. I already have 200 full-size candy bars ready for Halloween. Full size is the only fun size. You guys have candy at the restaurant when people come by?
We do, actually.
Yeah?
Not at the house, but at the restaurant.
What's the go-to?
I don't even know. That's not my department. I just get whatever.
You can't do full size at a restaurant, though.
No, that's insane.
Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah. Full size at home.
I like the Almond Joy. That's my favorite home.
Really? Almond Joy?
Yeah.
Huh. Do you like those compressed coconut, 3-color coconut bars, like the Neapolitan compressed coconut bar?
The Italian cookies?
Yeah. Oh, no. Well, they make a bar that's real flat and rectangular that is just compressed coconut in a chocolate, fake compressed coconut, fake chocolate, coconut.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And then this fake berry.
I don't like this.
No?
No, it's not real coconut enough. Like the Almond Joy kind of tastes like it's got coconut in it.
And not a Mounds guy.
I do like Mounds also.
Huh.
It's a tough call.
I feel it like...
Remember those commercials where they were fighting over that?
Yeah. Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't.
It's like an analogy for the presidential election.
Yeah, although I feel that I feel like I feel that most people would always take one or the other. I don't feel like there's anyone who's like, today I'll have this, tomorrow I'll have that. Like, you would probably almost always rather have the almond on it, no?
Probably.
Yeah.
I like things with almonds on them.
There you go.
It's a rule.
What about trout?
Yeah.
Almondine. Yeah?
As a matter of fact, I do.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Trout is the most consistently disappointing fish to me because I love trout, but then like people hammer the hell out of trout.
The only reason to eat trout is that you're far away from the ocean, and it's the only fish you get.
Wow.
That's my opinion on trout.
Have you ever had an actual where it's like, because you know what? I've done the ones where you buy the BS trout out of the tank.
Yeah.
They don't really, first of all, not the best, even trout.
No.
Right.
It's fine.
Yeah. But they know the trout, when I was a kid, it was all trout bleu, trout bleu. I mean, like, okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all fine.
Yeah. Trout smoked is like smoked but not hammered. Like, can you do a smoked and not hammer the hell out of it?
I like it like fresh, hot smoked.
Yeah.
Not like dried out jerky smoked.
Yeah. Yeah, herky jerky trout.
No good.
Yeah. I saw you did a, what's it called? I saw you did a video on sea robin.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. I was on a boat once, like maybe the only time ever we went out to the Sound. By the way, for those of you that don't know, there's the Long Island Sound. So there's a Long Island, Hence, its name is Long Island. And it stretches along almost the entire coast of Connecticut and then peters out at a place called Montauk, which you might know from Jaws, the movie. And that is basically parallel with where kind of Mystic Stonington is. So right around there, it stops being the Long Island Sound and starts becoming the Atlantic Ocean. And what's interesting is it's two kind of different ecosystems, the Long Island Sound ecosystem, and then the Atlantic Ocean. So Mystic, Connecticut is actually in a very interesting place from a seafood perspective. Would you agree with this?
Yeah, definitely. And we kind of get both of those, although the Sound ecosystem is not so great, I would say. Like, there's no more lobsters.
I thought they brought them back.
I mean, not really. They'll never really go back, I don't think.
I met a lobster person. He used to run the mailboat in Maine, up near Sunset, Maine. And salty sucker, that guy. Yeah. He was talking about like cutting people's traps. Like,
for sure.
I was like, did you take the lobster first? He's like, I'm not a thief.
Just a vandal.
Yeah. Well, like if they have their waters, and if you put your buoy up there, let's cut it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I was like, what do you think of even Cape Cod? I was like, what do you think of? Forget Long Island Sound. I didn't even bring it up. I was like, forget that. I was like, what do you think of Cape Cod lobsters? Mud bugs. And that was it.
Might as well eat crayfish.
Yeah. I mean, of course, the Canadians are like idiot Maine weasels. They're like, our lobster. Yeah, the colder the better, I guess. Speaking of colder the better, you got your green crabs who are loving the warm weather.
They sure do.
Yeah,
sure
man.
do love it.
Yeah, they're the reverse snowbirds of the aquatic community. So the green crabs, invasive, and they used to die out because it got cold. They don't anymore, and you're cooking those suckers up, huh?
Yeah, we go through about, at our peak, like 100 pounds a week.
Now, I had heard people were like capturing them, holding them in tanks, waiting for them to molt, and then selling them as softies.
They're working on that. I mean, in Milan, that's like a big thing.
Softy greens?
Yeah.
Are they good?
Oh, yeah. Delicious.
Yeah?
I mean, the crab itself is delicious. There's not a lot of meat on it because it's small.
So what do? Hack it in half and broth it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we make a lot of stocks. We use all the derivatives.
Is there any decent way? I saw a guy frying one of the softies. He didn't take off the little triangle.
Loser.
Yeah, got to take off the triangle. Take out the gills, cut the eyes.
101.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Softy 101.
Yeah.
Anyway, so like, are invasive species? I get it. You're doing a good thing, but and they have to taste good, or you're not going to use them, right? Or find something that they're good in.
For
right?
sure.
That's it. But what are they like price wise?
Cheaper.
Really?
Well, yeah. That's the other side every time I talk about sustainable seafood. These are species that are more abundant, therefore easier to catch, therefore less money generally for the restaurant. So, I mean, when we first started getting them, they're like almost free compared to like anything else you would make stock with. So it was a good investment for us, but they're also just better quality.
And they still have that crab. In other words, like everyone loves crab.
Yeah.
If you can eat crab, you like it.
I mean, all crab generally tastes the same. More or less.
Whoa.
Within a range, like all chocolate tastes the same. There's like different kinds of chocolate, but it's not like.
Well, I mean, like
you can eat a crab and be like, "Wow, it's just like an orange." It's.
Yeah, I guess a bad crab tastes like a shrimp. Like
just a bbad crab tastes dirty.
Yeah.
Also, like spider crab is kind of like.
There are crabs whose textures I don't love.
Like which?
What's the one? There's one that I never am happy with when I get it. That's really expensive. What is it? It's not stone. Maybe Jonah. Maybe I'm never happy with Jonah. Dungeness, you got to go out west and get the Dungeness, and it's good. Or as the guy in Juneau called them, Dungies.
Love the nickname.
Yeah, what's your favorite? Well, the Kings and the Dungies. Those are my favorite. I mean, like, has anyone ever devised a machine that can pick a crab?
Yeah, the baiter machine.
What?
You don't know about this?
No.
Yeah, it's amazing. It does just that. You just put the crabs in, and out comes the shells and the meat.
No.
It's like a $40,000 machine.
Freaking way.
The guy who gets the crabs for us, Jason Jarvis in Westerly, has access to one that they have at Johnson and Wales. And so he can get green crab meat.
Oh, my
It's pretty amazing.
God.
It's the only way to do it. There's no other way.
Give me the name of that again. I'm going to look it
The
up.
baiter machine.
Baiter machine. Like, do they have like nicknames like Darth Bader and all this?
Sure.
And just like literally like how fast can it do it? Like you're dumping in. So presumably you steam them out, right? And then you cool them or whatever. You dump them in. And how good is it? Like how many shells are you picking out of the meat?
Like kind of like if you get like picked crab meat.
Yeah,
like that. That's been through a baiter machine. No one's hand picking that.
No way.
Yeah.
And does it? Can it separate the lump? You know, like the lump from the knot?
I don't think so. Well, I don't know. Well, like, little green crabs don't really have that.
No lump in it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure how it works with quote unquote better crabs. But it's pretty cool.
And you're buying that meat too, or no?
No, we just use the whole. I don't like to buy anything processed in any way. Yeah.
And so I hear they're rather fragile though, so they die pretty quick.
No, they're
really.
They're the opposite.
Really?
We tend to get that. Once we get crabs in, like a few days later, someone will come from like the laundry department and be like, this guy was crawling around.
Yeah.
Like they're like kind of like cockroaches.
I lost a bag of regular blues in my apartment once, like 20 years ago. It's not still alive, don't worry. It was like 20 or 30 years ago. And like, you know how like the first time that you cook crabs at home, they sell crabs, live crabs in New York anyway, in paper bags.
Yeah.
They used to anyway. And so I was like, look at this. I pick up the bag. Boom, bag opens up. Crabs, boosh, everywhere, all throughout my apartment. And, you know, I'm running around the apartment, you know, picking them up, sorting the crabs from the cockroaches and like, you know what I mean? And I missed one.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're sneaky.
Next day. Yeah. Sneaky little bastards. Yeah. All right. Well, I want to come up and try. I feel terrible. I go to Mystic often, and yet I never eat out in Mystic because I'm always there with family. But we got to stop by.
Yeah, you should.
Sometime. So sea robin. Back to sea robin. Are they related to pufferfish, or do they just look puffy?
No, I don't think so. I think they're totally different. They're in the gunnard family. So there's like a bunch of species of gunnard. Some, like in France, they call them scorpion fish. It's like the bouillabaisse fish.
Right. So do you use them for bouillabaisse?
I don't.
What do you get out of a sea robin?
Just the fillet. I mean,
which is small compared to the big old head?
A little bit. Not really. I think the yield is pretty good because the fillets are really thick. So the yield's not bad.
What does it taste like? Why is it considered a
delicious.
trash fish?
Because people are stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, I can remember even when I was cooking when skate was considered trash.
Yeah. I still can't get skate.
Really?
Locally.
Huh.
It all goes to lobster bait. It's infuriating.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. Because it's the fluke. The guys who catch skate are generally going for fluke.
Right.
And they get a quota of fluke. And that's how much space they have on their boat to keep things nice. So that's all fluke. And the skate just goes in barrels and rots and they just sell it to lobster.
Wow.
Yeah. It pisses me off.
That's hardcore. And do all the skate taste the same, or do we have more iodine ones too?
I don't know. I get so little like fresh skate. We got Holmes for a while, and they were all pretty much the same. But there's different species of skate as well.
The scallops you get, how do they compare to like a Nantucket scallop?
I mean, we get sea scallops, not bay scallops. I always think of Nantucket as like bay scallops.
Yeah, those are God's scallop.
They're beautiful. Yeah, but they're good. They're really good quality from locally.
Yeah.
But you know, everything's a little bit offshore. It's not like they're growing super close, and people are. It's not. I feel like the days of hand diving scallops are over. I can never see diver scallops where people are actually diving for scallops. They're mostly dredged.
Yeah, because what would you?
I mean, the people used to do it. I remember seeing a Martha Stewart episode like 20 years ago. Someone was diving for scallops.
You know, my cousin is learning to, as just something to do, to free dive.
Yeah, I'm super into that.
He can hold his breath for like infinity.
I used to when I was a kid. I was really into it.
So you could do it.
I used to free dive in my lake.
You could go down.
I could hold my breath for like 3 minutes.
How much would you have to charge if you were going to dive down, free dive down, and not just diver scallops anymore, free diver scallops?
Free diver scallops.
Free diver scallops.
They wouldn't be free.
They wouldn't be
tell
free.
you that much.
Well, free diving's not free.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? So like, how much would you have to charge, you think?
A lot because it's risky.
Yeah.
But your costs are lower because you don't need air.
That's right. Could get an embolism, but you don't need air.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that, what are the dangers? Is it, I'm told it's not incredibly painful to free dive once you're used to it.
No, it's not. The danger is that you don't come up fast enough or you come too fast. Like that's how free divers die. Basically what happens, like real professional free divers where they're like 600 feet below water, when they come up, their lungs shrink down to like the size of a grapefruit under the pressure. And then when you come up too fast, they expand. They suck all the oxygen from your brain and you die.
It's not funny.
Sure, it's funny.
It's just hilarious the things that human beings figure out how to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's not funny that anyone dies, but it's funny that the crazy things that people figure out how to do if there's some incentive to do so.
Or even if there's no incentive. What's the incentive?
Well, like
what do you think professional free divers make? I mean,
yeah.
it's not like a big prize.
Like for instance, there's no reason to do death dives. You seen this one?
No.
It's the one where you do cliff diving, but you belly flop, and like right at the last second, you slap down, and so you slap the water, which helps kind of break the surface tension, and then you go in. But yeah,
Why?
God knows, you're not even getting like a pearl or a scallop or
Yeah, that's a uniquely human thing to do.
Yeah. Maybe someone can figure out an economic reason to do it. It's a Scandinavian thing.
Do they TikTok it?
Probably.
That's the reason.
Probably. I forget how it came to my
Yeah, that's insane.
attention. Do you work with the Moromi people?
I do. Yeah, Bob Florence.
Yeah.
He's
good guy.
amazing.
Yeah. And what about the kelp folk?
Yep, Susie Flores.
Yeah.
Stonington Kelp Company. I actually have a kelp t-shirt on right
Let
now.
me see.
I love this shirt.
How is their kelp?
Their kelp is great.
Now, wow.
Nice.
Kelp dinner.
Yep.
Yeah. Nastasia is still, I think, triggered because we did a kombu kelpathon once at the French Culinary Institute. It was just kelp for days. So much kelp. All the kelp.
Yep.
And then I was like, Nastasia, what do you think of all of these kelp broths? And it was just like straight kelp, like nothing else.
Sure.
Just the kelp. Yeah. Remember that stuff?
Like a cupping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'd be like, here's the same kelp, one at 50C, one at 60C, and one at 70C for 3 different times. Taste. And then we were
But Dave,
we'd sit there and taste it.
we're so stupid. We could have actually like gotten on some weird health craze thing if we had sold, like, you know what I mean? Like with all those different, we could have sold it as some stupid marketing thing.
Yeah. If only we were smart enough and or what's the word? Unethical enough to do so. I mean, it's not unethical if you believe it,
Exactly.
but if you don't believe it, it's unethical, right? I mean, I never felt good. Like I would occasionally say things like, "Well, I don't believe it, but this is what some people say." I personally think that's garbage, but you know what I mean? And then that's not a really good sales pitch.
No.
You know what I mean?
It's the value of self-deception.
Yeah, you can make some decent money. You know what I mean? If you're like, "This rock is magic," and you believe it, then just go buy a bunch of that rock and sell it. You know what I mean?
You're rich.
Only rocks. What about salt?
Is that the most magical rock?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, salt. Oh my God. I mean, besides the fact that we need it to live,
True.
delicious, delicious salt. Oh my God, undersalted food, please. I mean, there are people who can't have it, and then they adjust. Apparently, I've read the research that you can adjust to not wanting as much salt.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let's look at some questions before we. But Jack, did you have any food stuff before we run out of time?
I'll very, very quickly just shout out the 2 places I've been to recently in LA that were fantastic. La Cita, which is an incredible rotisserie, like chicken in a sal. And then RVR, which is pronounced River, which is the team behind Justa. They have a new izakaya in Venice, which is fantastic. So for West Coast people, those are my recs.
Why no vowels?
What?
Why no vowels? What do they have against? What do they have against
I don't
vowels?
know because it was based on the last place they did, which was MTN, pronounced mountain. I don't know. I can't tell you why they're leaving vowels out of their
you
restaurant
can't
name,
Google
but-
river with a. If you Google river, you get rivers. But if you Google RVR, is that what it was?
You get the restaurant.
Is that
That'll
what-
come up. RVR. Yeah, it was really, really good. Like,
Yeah?
very, 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 very good. Yeah. So, yeah, but
All right.
get to those questions.
All right. Do you want to shout out any particular dish you had?
Ramen.
Okay. What kind of ramen?
Yeah.
Were you a tonkatsu man?
Yeah, I'm generally a tonkatsu man.
Okay, here's why I'm a bad person. I like ramen. I won't kill people for ramen.
Well, who's killing people for ramen?
People go ape. I mean, like, I love Tampopo. It's a great movie. But, like, I wouldn't drive across the country. I wouldn't drive across the country for it. You know what I'm saying?
No, because you live in New York. You can get a good bowl of ramen in many places.
Yeah. Oh,
You're lucky.
one more food thing quickly. I sent a friend of mine, Mike Cahill, is on sabbatical, and he's a law professor in England. He's like, what should I do? I was like, you should go to the Brogdale, which is their fruit collection. It's in Kent, in Faversham, which is like, I don't know, an hour and a half outside of London on the train, and you can walk from the train station, at least Nastasia and I did. And so I've been twice, and I told him, I was like, it's real hit or miss. It's like, if you go there when the plant weasels are outside, the British, like, horticultural nanny poo, booze, then they'll stop you from picking all the fruit. But if you go and they're not out there, then you have a rip-roaring good time picking all the fruit. And they went and were able to pick everything they wanted and brought it back because it was raining. And I think, Nastasia, the time that we went there, was it raining?
It was misty. Yeah.
Yeah. And those lazy British fruit fools don't go out in the rain. Idiots. And so if you live in London and you want to try to chance it, right, go out when it's raining, because those horticultural, pinky holding out, tea drinking fools won't come and bust you if it's raining. And if you do go and get busted in the rain, let me know so I can tell people that I'm wrong. Anyway, those pears were so good, weren't they, Stas?
Yeah. Yes, they were.
Oh my God, those pears were good. Best pears I've ever had. Even though pear is not a fruit you should eat off the tree.
I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Did you ripen it?
No, we weren't there that long. So we were only, some pears, we would pick up drops and things that had done a little bit of extra stuff, or stuff that was on the tree a little bit too long. But even so, you could get a feeling for it. And they also have a huge collection of Wardens, which are the, cooking pears.
Yep.
And they have a huge collection of Perry pears. And so it's kind of interesting to try all of those things. But if we lived there, obviously we would take a bunch of them and cellar them properly. Because pear is one of those weird fruits where it's you pick it and then you have to wait for the 25 seconds where it's good.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
The avocado is also a fruit. I was going to say the avocado of fruits.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand what you mean. I think it's an apt, what's it called? Not an analogy, but it's an apt comparison.
Sure.
Yeah. Because, and you know that avocado, the other stupid word for it is alligator pear.
Wow.
So there you go. No one calls it that.
I'm going to start calling it that from now on.
Some white European guy was like, "Wow, that's an alligator pear." You know what I mean? And everyone's like, "No, it's an avocado, you idiot, dummy." You know what I mean? That's like someone saw whatever they call the Korean pears now, Asian pear. What do you call it? Yeah. Someone's sand pear. You're like, no one calls it that. My guy, nobody calls it that. You know what I'm saying? Sand pear. Although I tend to think they're kind of like sand pears because they're so gritty.
Yeah, they're sandy on the outside too.
Yeah. Also, if anyone can tell me why some pear eau de vie you can taste the grit, please let me know why. What's going on where I'm getting a textural sensation? What taste molecule is giving me the textural sensation of grit in a pear? Because I love that. I love when I get a pear eau de vie and get that gritty feeling.
What's that Austrian one? We just met the distiller.
That's the one.
The Austrian guy.
Wiesbauer?
Yes, I just met that guy. He came to Connecticut.
Yeah.
He could have told you, I bet.
I don't know.
That's the one. That's who we had it, Dave.
But he didn't tell us why.
Well,
he just gave us this.
But we should ask Ariel or Harold.
Yeah. Ariel, by the way, fan of the show, author of Flavorama, just came out with a new pumpkin spice called Pumpkin Spice 2.0. It showed up at my house. I haven't tried it yet. Here's what I'm going to do. You ready for it? Jen, my wife, stopped taking sugar in her coffee. So in the wintertime, I used to make some spice syrups to put into her lattes because she's a latte drinker. But now she doesn't take it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a no-sugar pumpkin spice syrup with polydextrose. What do you think? What do you think a no-sugar pumpkin spice, would you think it would work or not work?
I mean, yeah, with polydextrose.
Yeah, polydextrose. so it's not going to mess your viscosity up. You know what I mean? It's going to add that body that sugar's there without the sweetness. Yeah. I'll let you folks know. I'll try it with pumpkin spice 1.0. I'll just go buy some. I've never bought pumpkin spice. I always just kind of whomp together a pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
I'm going to try Ariel's pumpkin spice 2.0 and then whatever my BS pumpkin spice is. But then you can add spice. You can add the spice flavor without worrying about over sweetening it, because that's the problem with the pumpkin spice juice. It's just like sugar swamp.
You just add them separately, right? Sugar, pumpkin spice.
Well, but typically,
why is every one thing?
Well, because that's how they dose it.
I'm not a pumpkin spice guy.
That's how they dose it. Like when they're working commercially, they're like, and you're like, just the one pump.
Yep.
Yeah. They're pumping the hell out of it with the. By the way, we moved away from pumps at the bar. So we have a couple of ingredients that are too thick to use. And we had been pumping them with Tarani pumps. And they're great when the syrup is full, right? But as soon as there's any sort of air that works into it, then you get like burps in the pump. and those pumps are dosing pumps.
Yeah.
So if it burps in the middle, then everything you've done before is trash.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So obviously you do that first, but because at the new bar we don't have room for giant like a bunch of 750s, we were like, oh my God, like these small bottles, they burp from the minute you start. You know, unless also like, you know, before service, you have to sit there like you're like, you know, like waving a jet down a, you know, aircraft carrier to spin all of the syrup down to the bottom of the bottle so that they don't burp. Now it's the only ingredient we weigh. We keep them in squeezies, you put them in first, and then we weigh out those ingredients based on their density. And then the rest of it's jiggered. So we would never want to have 2 ingredients that are weighed in a drink, but 1. And we use there's so many cheap coffee scales now that are meant to get wet and that have backlit numbers, and they auto on and they're USB-C recharging.
Yep.
So we just charge them at night and then they work the entire bar shift. So
cool.
Anyway, just a thing. Oh, by the way, which Joel Robuchon restaurant did you work at?
The original New York one in the Four Seasons Hotel.
Yeah. Joel Robuchon, rest in peace. Weird guy, huh?
Yes. He was a weird guy.
Anything you want to say about him? Or the place?
I mean, it was awesome. I loved it. I worked there the whole time.
Yeah?
But not everybody loved it.
Yeah.
It was a difficult environment.
Yeah.
It took me many years to like detox into a normal human in the kitchen.
Oh, was it anger-based cooking?
I don't know. It was anger-based. It was just very cutthroat.
Really?
Especially early, because we had a Japanese chef who I won't mention his name because he's such a psycho. But I also like. But it was just a lot of like, oh, new guy, great. Let's just really throw this guy under the bus.
Really?
And then laugh while he gets beaten in the corner, you know?
Oh, like normal hazing, like vacuuming their clothes?
No, just like in general, like whoever the new guy was going to get beaten. I remember when I went to the front
physically
kitchen,
beaten?
To some extent, yeah.
Wow.
When I was moving to the front kitchen, I was like, oh, great, moving to the front kitchen. My sous chef's like, don't be happy. He just wants to beat you.
Wow.
It was true. It was definitely true.
Wait, so you get to be new guy twice? You get to be new person in the back and then new person in the front?
Originally, yeah, in that place, yeah, for sure. But it's weird because Robuchon himself was very gentle in that sense. Never like yelled, never raised his voice, not one time. He would like torture you with like a whisper. You know?
Really?
Like just stop.
Wow.
In the middle of a big rush. He just whispered to the chef, stop and clean. And we'd just stop everything and clean the whole kitchen. Start again. So
but he would say that when he didn't like a particular thing at the pass, or
I don't know what really prompted it. Bezos, his whole philosophy was like, you know, it's okay to mess up a recipe. Recipes are very personal. It takes a while to understand them, but there's no excuse for not clean. So that would I don't know. Very famously, when we were opening, the first Friends and Family, he came in that day. So the chefs prepared everything. And right as it started, he's like, no, throw everything away. We're not doing this. We'll reopen tomorrow. Literally threw away every piece of mise en place. He probably just did to every restaurant, right? It was like a thing. But it was
that was his shtick.
Probably. Yeah. He did a lot of things like that. He did a lot of weird contract things that he would, and the philosophy was, if you don't get the things in my contract right, like the tiny thing, like I need to have a Diet Coke on my nightstand done, then that means you're probably missing a bunch of other stuff.
So he's the David Lee Roth of chefs.
Yep. There was one story where he like showed up to one of his restaurants, and I guess in his contract, it was supposed to pick him up in a Rolls Royce or like a certain car at the airport. And they showed up in a different car, and he looked at it, he turned around and got back on the plane and went back to France.
Wow.
That's
a weird dude.
It's weird, but it's like you really have to watch all the details. Like we were so on fire when he was coming. Like everything had to be absolutely perfect.
And so like the people who were supposed to be eating that night, were they like,
yeah, probably pissed.
Although that's what, friends and family,
it's free anyway,
not like
so
you can
yeah,
say. Yeah. Although, but you didn't make other plans.
That's true.
You got a babysitter.
Mm-hmm.
Did you give him a drink anyway?
I don't know.
Shut it down.
Shut it down. That's it. We're done.
I don't think I ever ate at any of his places, because he also had the second tier, like more casual place. I never ate there.
Weird. Ours was weird because he had the mansion, like in Vegas, there's the mansion, L'Atelier, and L'Atelier is more bistro-y.
Yeah.
But here he just had L'Atelier. It was really like a combination. So we were 2-star Michelin. That was the goal.
I saw him once give a talk, Star Chefs, with Bruno Gusseau, because like they developed the first kind of like mass sous vide thing for the SNCF.
Yep.
And so Gusseau is always like Rebouchon. Yeah. And so like They were talking about like sous vide, or he calls it jusqu'à because if it's not sous vide, he doesn't call it sous vide, but he doesn't call it low temperature either, because the temperature is not low, it's jusqu'à temps, it's the right temperature. You know what I mean? Like, all right, Bruno, and they had eggs in like a half Lexan with a circulator, polyscience, of course, and just like 4 eggs, and there was like boop 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 boop. The egg was just like boop 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 boop, smacking against all 4, like it's like on a carnival ride. And we're all there like, those eggs are ruined. Those eggs are toast, ruined. You know what I mean? And meanwhile, this like one of the most famous chefs in the world is sitting there while the thing, like, how is he not like laser burning holes in everyone's eyes? You know what I mean? Oh man,
Yeah.
that was a crazy one. That's the same. Yeah. Anyway, I won't go into all the weird, crazy stories about that era. All right. Okay. From down here on the Chesapeake Bay, serious crab country, Josh Seberg, who believes that a hot dog is a sandwich. He's incorrect. He's incorrect.
Totally.
Just wrong.
One piece of bread.
Yeah. Oh, good call. Yeah.
We just had this argument at the restaurant yesterday.
Yeah. I'm more of a functionalist. If you think you're going to have sandwiches and someone hands you a hot dog, you're not happy.
True.
You know what I mean? Serious crab country. I'm curious what your view is on what your favorite case of beer, group of friends, let's eat a ton of seafood item. X seafood. What's the X?
Group of, probably would be oysters.
Really?
Yeah.
How so? I like
Just raw.
Just raw?
Yeah.
With any sort of toppings?
Mini net.
Really?
Yeah. Classic.
Triggering Stas. Stas has a mini net trigger.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't like when people do things with mini net that aren't mini net.
Ooh, give me an
kidding
example.
me?
Cucumber.
Oh.
It's not part of it.
You're like, come up with a different name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tiny diced cucumber and acid, you jerk. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just want the thing.
Yeah.
Peppercorns, shallot.
No sort of horseradish product?
No, not on oysters. Well, unless you go below the Mason-Dixon, and then you need it.
Well, what, to kill the poison from the... No offense.
Those oysters are like so much stronger flavor. If I go down south, hot sauce, always, that whole
well, in like New Orleans, you like a cooked oyster?
I like a cooked oyster everywhere, but in general, like if I have raw oysters,
Yeah, I only want them cooked down there.
down there, no, they're raw down there. It's great.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I don't trust a warm water oyster.
does someone have an R in it?
Vibrio me
Well,
up.
now
Or whatever.
especially, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. So, a question. So, when you go to a low to mid tier coastal seafood joint and you get the Admiral platter, broiled or fried?
Fried.
Yeah,
gotta go fried.
Gotta go fried. They don't know how to broil fish.
No, they don't. And also, it's like quality of the fish. Like, how good is it going to be? It's probably frozen.
Oh yeah,
Fried.
they could be on the water and they're getting those frozen fillets.
Oh, yeah.
And you could taste. Not that you can taste. Good frozen fish is good, but one that's been through a bunch of cycles and you know that the moisture's been crystallized out of it. And it has that texture of like yeah.
I grew up going to the fried seafood places on City Island.
Oh my God, I only went to one. What's the good one to go to?
Johnny's.
Are you from City Island?
My grandparents lived on City Island.
So sick. For those of you who don't know, City Island is this weird place within a place. It's like this like one street, like water on either side. It's in the Bronx. It's crazy.
It's like the South Bronx combined with Cape Cod.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's very strange.
Yeah,
I lived
it's
there
New
for
York's
like
best
15
kept
years.
secret, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like I've like for a while I was like, maybe I should move to City Island.
It's great. You just get islandized really fast.
Yeah. You never leave, right?
Yeah, you're like, I can't go to the grocery store. It's off the island.
So where to go? Is Tito Puente good?
It was actually Tito Puente is pretty good. Plus, he used to play there all the time.
Really?
It was amazing.
Oh my
He would
God.
just show up. And,
Seriously?
it was pretty cool.
Oh man. So what's the place to go though?
Artie's is the best restaurant on City Island, and then there's also a weird Italian place that's above this like catering hall. I can't remember the name of it, but the best part about that place is carpeted sidewalks.
What?
Yeah, I mean that's luxury.
Wow. You know what? So the way to get into City Island, there's a place called Orchard Beach that you can drive past, and it used to be the Dirty Needle Beach of record.
Yeah.
But I hear that you can't even get stabbed with a dirty needle anymore.
No, it's probably cleaned up over there. There's so many weird people in that area though. It's so strange.
Yeah.
I remember there was this guy, I used to call him the Midnight Cowboy. because I would be driving home from the train station in the middle of the night, like through the park, and all of a sudden you see this guy in full cowboy regalia riding a horse
Come on.
through the park.
A horse.
A horse.
And it wasn't the naked cowboy.
No, not that guy. Just a full-on cowboy guy. Sometimes have bales of hay on the horse.
For real.
For real. And then one day, I got off the train, and there's a horse tied up outside the bodega.
What?
And I'm like, I gotta see this guy.
Did you go in and buy him a Slim Jim?
No, I went in, and it was this guy who was like on his Bluetooth headset, talking in great detail about transcribing classical music scores.
What?
So fucking.
You know what? For as much as I have issues with our great city, we got some folk here.
It's the beauty of New York.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Another one. Lobster roll of style.
I like the mayonnaise.
Really?
What?
Yeah. I hate.
And you call yourself a Connecticut guy?
I'm not from Connecticut.
All right.
I don't like the hot lobster roll.
Have you? So if you don't like it, you're
I'm not
not
a
like
big
it.
hot sandwich guy.
Really?
All said and done, like, you know,
Well, so for hot dog buns, do you like a top split though?
I do.
All right. So getting somewhere.
Definitely top split.
All right.
for
Okay.
sure. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm more of a Maine lobster roll guy.
Yeah, I love a Connecticut lobster roll on a top split bun. The one in Chester is great.
They're good. I used to do one when we did it with lobster butter instead of regular butter.
Yeah.
Amped it up a
It's
little.
real good.
Everyone liked it. I don't know.
Everyone liked it but you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And, there's very few things that I make that I don't like, but I still make them. Like lattes. I don't like them.
Really?
No, I drink espresso only.
Oh, okay.
I don't want milk in my
Purist.
coffee. I don't want milk in my coffee. I don't hate milk. I don't drink it, but I like milk products more.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
You like cheese.
Love it. love. Like, I like even like a milkshake
Love a
if you
milkshake.
freeze that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But just like pound a big old glass of milk. When I was a kid, I drank so much milk. One day I drank it, not in a row, not the challenge, but I had drunk through the course of the day by the early afternoon a gallon of milk. And I threw it all up.
Yeah.
And then I haven't had milk as a beverage since.
I have that same thing with gin.
Really? I threw up on gin once
Same
in
story.
college, but I got back to it.
Yeah, I got back to it too.
Yeah,
You come back around. Maybe you'll come back to milk.
Maybe I just don't see it. I eat so much other milk. Imagine if you spent your entire life working with gin products, but you didn't drink the gin anymore. You might not be tempted to go back to gin the liquid because you're like awash in gin products.
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, I get my fair share of cow juice. You know what I mean? All right. Matt from Mystic writes in. The pavlova at Chipwright's daughter is really great. Can you talk a little about how the dish comes together and more generally, why pavlova? I feel like you don't see pavlova on menus that much these days. Thanks.
Well, in my entire chef career, I've never had a pastry chef. And so I learned how to make pavlova, and it's like a good showstoppery dessert that looks great. And it's just, win. It's a winner.
Yeah, I like a pavlova.
Yeah.
Stark Craving Man wants to know, every season my brother and I put stone crab traps out and generally pull in about 100 to 120 pounds of stone crab claws per season. We have 20 to 30 pounds surplus frozen from last season. We're trying to figure out unique ways to eat them other than straight up with Joe's mustard and mayo sauce. Was thinking of doing crab soup with a grouper head stock I made earlier in the summer. I have frozen, or maybe a really decadent crab cake. Would love to hear any input that you have.
I mean, those both sound like good ideas. Maybe pasta. You can make a pasta with those.
With the frozen, could you check it in?
Yeah, it's in the sauce.
Frank M wants to know about grain mills. I'll definitely need to save that for next week. That's like a long conversation about grain mills. That's a whole show on grain mills. I just ran through. I have 6 in my house now.
It's amazing.
No, my wife does not think so.
No.
Okay. Christian writes in, making mochi waffles, I ran into the issue of having them harden up after they sat for a bit. You mentioned that can happen when mochi cools off. I realize that must be what happened. Does reheating solve the problem or keeping them warmed in an oven right out of the iron? You got to keep those things warm. You got to keep it. But the problem with mochi, and the reason I stopped making mochi waffles, is really they are an a la minute kind of a thing. Like mochi, you want the outside to be super crispy, and you want the inside to be really gooey, and like that's just not the way the world works. That things that are gooey on the inside and crispy on the outside, they just don't stay that way.
Nope.
So I don't know if you had a CVAP or a combi oven, you could probably hold it for a while, doing a hot hold with a wet bulb dry bulb sitch. But it's never going to be as good. You can zhuzh them, right? You can put them back in the iron. So like you could sandbag a bunch of them right? And then you can just, nuke them up for like, in the iron for like a little bit, or even just deep fry them to recrisp up the outside. But mochi waffles are good when they're good. And I stopped making them because you can't force people to eat quickly. People are the worst. You know what I mean? This is why a tasting menu situation, I can give them just a bite. Eat it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You need an egg timer.
Yeah. Oh my God. Could you do that at a restaurant?
I've always wanted to. For the general table time in general, but also I think for a dish, that would be great.
Must be done by the time. And it isn't long, Gary. It isn't long. You know what I mean? Give your Wicked Witch of the West egg timer. Oh my gosh. You told them now someone's going to do it. They're going to rip off your idea.
No, it's great.
Anyone can do it as long as they call you out?
I'd like a little credit somewhere, like in the pre-meal.
Yeah. Why Shipwright's Daughter, by the way?
Well, we pulled it out of thin air, really. But we wanted to have something that was kind of about the culture of Mystic, of kind of shipbuilding culture and nautical culture, but also we're the next generation.
Nice. Yeah. All right. Well, David, thank you so much for coming on. I would say go to your James Beard dinner tonight, but it's sold out. Are you serving any of those crabs up?
Yeah, it's all green crabs.
All green crab all the time?
Yep, the whole menu.
Yeah. All right. Well, great to have you on. Please come again. Maybe I'd love to check you out next time I come up to Mystic.
Yeah, please do.
All right. Welcome. Cooking Issues.